In this video, we will see about callback and promises in JavaScript. Callback is a classical way of executing a function once after another function gets completed. Normally, the code written in JavaScript are asynchronous in nature. That is, one operation generally does not wait for another operation to get completed. They get triggered in the order in which they are written in the code. And that is the reason we have to use callbacks. Let us look at this diagram. We have a couple of functions, a parent function and a callback function. Normally, if we do not implement callback, both the functions get triggered parallelly and starts functioning parallelly. If we implement a callback functionality, the callback function waits for the parent function to get completed, and once the parent function gets completed, the callback function gets triggered and starts performing its operation. A promise is an object in JavaScript that represents the eventual completion or failure of an asynchronous operation and its resulting value. A promise can be of any of three states mentioned below. A promise can be in a pending state, a promise can be in a fulfilled state, or promise can be in a rejected state. Once a promise is created for a functionality, it will be in an initial state. It will not be fulfilled nor rejected. Once the functionality related to the promise gets completed successfully without any exception, it reaches the fulfilled state. And for some reason, if a promise functionality fails to do the intended uh, job, it reaches the rejected state, which means the promise operation has failed. Let us look at this diagram to understand promise better. Once a functionality related to promise starts, the promise reaches the pending state. Based on the promise getting fulfilled or rejected, the scenario can be handled in dot then callback function or dot catch callback function. If a promise gets resolved successfully, we can handle the corresponding functionalities in dot then function. If the promise gets rejected for some reason, then we can use the dot catch function, and these dot then and dot catch can be handled continuously, and that process is called as chain of promises. Let us understand these callback and promise feature with the following example. Callback and promise demo. Likewise, I will just create one HTML file. I'll say callback and promises. So I will refer this. I will create a script tag. I'll create a JavaScript file here. We will open this HTML file in a browser. So like this, I'm just opening this HTML file in the browser, and I have referred the JavaScript file. This callback promise.js. Okay, so let me like create a student object. Maybe like we will assume we are having some list of students. We will put some 3 records. Like first record I will is having ID property, ID, and then age. So similarly, I will copy this and I will create 2 records. I'll say get students. So I will create a method for retrieving these students. Okay. So here I'll keep a comma. Get student. I will say function. So basically, I want to replicate that callback scenario. So normally we face issues whenever some operation when post operation is performing. So we will not be always getting the latest records in JavaScript. JavaScript is like a single threaded application, right? So whenever we call get method and post method, if for some reason if a post method like takes some more time, we will not be getting the latest records. So I'm just trying to replicate that scenario. So what I will do is I will say set timeout. So set timeout is a function in JavaScript, right? A Windows.set timeout is a function in JavaScript. So which will perform a operation after a particular time is out, right? So normally like we will pass a interval as a parameter, like after 1 second, which is 1000 millisecond, you perform one operation. So whatever operation we have to perform, we can give it in line number 9. So so normally in like this is a this we call it as a arrow function definition, right? So normally what we do, so normally we say function and then open and close bracket, and then within the open and close curly braces we will be giving the function definition, right? So this is a syntax lambda. This syntax we call it as a lambda syntax or arrow function definition syntax. So this is introduced in ECMA script, the latest version of JavaScript, right? So
in ES6, right? Or ES8?
yeah, it is definition in 2015 itself, I guess. In 2016, when uh, like ECMA script came into the picture, so it was there.
Okay.
Yeah. So we just have to say like instead of function open and close curly braces, like what we can say is like we can just mention open and close bracket, and then we have to give this lambda, and then we have to within the open and closed curly braces we can give the logic. So basically I want to display the get the student list, and I have to display in the body, the HTML body. So that is my idea. So in classical JavaScript, what we will be doing, we will be saying in order to loop it, we will be using for uh, and then I is equal to 1. We will be using for classical for loop, right? Or we will be using like for where and then index in. So similar to something like for each, we had some other loop called for like for where in object too. So we will also be using that syntax, right? So we will be having like a for and a for each loop in classical JavaScript. So in ECMA script, like we have to say the list, that collection object. So basically I will say student list dot and then we have something called as for each. Okay. So similarly, what we have to do? So we have to say open and close bracket, and inside which I will get in a for each method. So we will be getting a object and an array. So and the index as a parameter. So I will say student, and what is the index? So it will start from 0, 1, 2, likewise. And within the arrow function, what I will say? So I will say whatever the operation I want to perform with the student, or if I have to use this index, I can make use of this index as well. So as of now, what I will do is I will declare a variable output. Okay. Right now I will mention it as a empty string. So here what I will do is output plus equal to. So basically I'm saying output equal to whatever output plus you append whatever I'm giving. And yeah, I want to also show you some like a new feature in JavaScript. We can use this back tilt method. So this thing, as of now, till date, we will be using double quotes, single quotes, right? So with ECMA script, we are also having the option to use this back tilt. So in keyboard, we will be having a tilt symbol, right? Just below the escape button. So if we do a shift and then press that button, we will be having a tilt, right? So this is a tilt we call. So this is a tilt. I mean, this is a tilt symbol. We also have something called as back tilt. So we have to just press the button below the escape button, and we can do a tilt. So this is used for string formatting. Right, in C# we have something called as string dot format, and we have to whatever we have to specify the strings we can specify in a specific format, right? So here what I'm saying li, which is basically for a list item, and then I am using something called as dollar. Okay, dollar open and curly braces. I can say basically within the dollar and open curly braces, I can mention the variable which I want to append, okay, to the existing string. So that is the syntax. So for that we have to use this. Whenever you have to use this dollar, you have to use this back tilt. Okay. So basically what I'm saying, dollar student dot name. So basically I'm preparing a list. Okay. And once this for each loop completed, I will be having the complete list of student, right? So I will say document dot body dot inner HTML equal to, so this output. No, okay. Set the timeout. Okay. I think I'm missing one curly braces. Okay. So basically, I prepared a student list, and in the function get student, I'm looping through every record, and I am appending the student name in a list item, and finally, uh, after uh, after completing the for each loop, I am appending that into the document.body. So that is what I am saying. I will call the student list. So let me go to dot format, and we have callback promise.js, callback promise.html file, script. Okay, now I have got the uh, JavaScript in the source. I have got the JavaScript file. So before that, I was not specifying the script tag properly. Due to that, it was not loading. So now all the student information is got printed in the body document body, right? So what I will do is I will go to this file again, and I will create another method for posting student. Basically, I'm going to add one more record to the student list. So what I will say function create a student. So this will object a student record as an input. So again, within the set timeout, I will just copy this. So maybe after 2 seconds, okay, or 3 seconds, what it will do, it will just add the student list dot push. So basically, it will push it to the student list array, right? So basically, I'm creating a student here. So what I will say create a student, and then maybe I'll create one more record. I will say 4. Sorry, 4, and then something Kamlesh. Basically, I'm creating a student, and then I'm getting a student. So first, I'm trying to create a student here. There is some error. Let us see what is it.
I think comma is expected after the get student.
So okay, line number 4. What it is? Okay, I think we have. I just cut that record. This got misplaced as well. So here, okay, okay, fine. So basically, I'm trying to create a student. So which will add the student record into this student list. I'm calling this create student first, and then I'm calling the get student. Get students at line number 26. Let me go to the browser and so even though I'm calling this a create student, right? So what is happening? So since it is taking 3 seconds, and this will happen in 1 second. So what is happening? Even though I'm calling this, the JavaScript is not waiting for this line to be completed and then executing this line. So JavaScript does not behave that way. This is the reason we need a callback. Okay, so the you understand, right? So what is the problem here? So we have already added to the student list. We are calling the functionality to add a record to the student list. And the next line, uh, I'm calling the functionality to get to the student list, right? So, so what is happening in our classical C# or Java? What will happen? So this line will get executed. After this line gets completed, this line will get executed. But in JavaScript, it will not happen like that. So everything will get executed immediately, right? So what has happened, since it is taking 3 seconds, this operation is even though this operation is starting after this operation is getting completed before this operation, right? The student is getting completed before create a student. So we have to handle this scenario. So for that, we have to introduce a callback function, right? So how to create a callback function? So what we have to do is we have to mention the a function which has to be executed after a particular function is completed as a second parameter. So I want this get student to get called after this create student gets completed. So in the create student function definition, so what I'm saying create student and then student first argument, and then in second argument I'm saying callback. Okay, so once this operation is completed, create student is get got completed. So what I'm saying callback. So when calling this create student, what I should say, I should mention the callback method. Callback method means the method which has to be executed after the actual method got completed. So I will mention like this. So now JavaScript will understand. So after performing the create student, and the once create student gets completed, we should call the get student, right? So this is the syntax we have to follow. Let me just so now what is happening? It is like waiting for 3 seconds, and then what is happening once this create a student, once after adding this um, student to the student list, it is waiting. Once that is completed, then it is calling the get student. So this is how we will perform a callback operation. So are you clear, guys? Like still now you are clear, right?
Yes, it's clear. Just have one doubt. Can you please go up?
Yeah.
So under that function get student, you have declared the index as well. But that index is not used anywhere. So is it a
Uh,
mandatory like in yeah?
no, like it is not mandatory because just I wanted to so what will happen if you in any JavaScript function, right? So if you do not pass a parameter, it will behave like a optional parameter. So it is
Okay, okay,
yeah, not really mandatory. But
okay, okay.
yeah, just wanted to let you know. So if we want to
Yes,
perform
yes,
with
sure.
index, we can do. Yeah,
Okay, okay.
yeah.
Can we do callback functionality without set timer?
Yeah, we can, but I just wanted to replicate the real-time scenario, right? So this set time out we do not need actually. So
Because
there
every
is
time we will not get a same call, right?
uh yeah, yes. So it is not like necessary, but I just wanted to replicate the callback scenario, right? I have used a set timeout. So normally what will happen? So normally some response it will take uh, more time, and it will be so by that time some other operations would have already happened. So we have to wait and we have to call this another method, right? So just wanted to replicate, and that is the reason I have used a set timeout. It was not like necessary I have to use a set timeout. Just wanted to replicate that scenario, so I have used it. Okay, guys. So yeah, hope you understood this callback. So similar functionality. So waiting for one operation to be completed uh, and performing another operation. Similar thing we can perform using promises as well. So here what I will do. So I will remove this callback, or I will just comment it out. So here comment this line. Here I will simply say return new promise object. So this promise object constructor says take two argument, resolve and reject. So resolve means on a successful execution of whatever the functionality defined inside the promise. So we will be returning the resolve. If there are some error for unknown error has happened, exception has happened. So that thing we will mention it in a reject. So here I will say I'll just copy this and put it here. I'll declare a const result or something, or something error. I will hard code it as false as of now. So I'll just check if error. So if for let us, I'm again mocking the some error has happened. Likewise, I am mocking the scenario. So now no error is happening. So I'm mocking that scenario. I am saying if error, what I say, I just resolve it. Okay. Sorry. Reject, and then I will say I'll say something went wrong. try after some time or something. So basically what I'm doing, I'm saying like error, I'm hard coding in line number 33, error equal to false. And if there is some error, I'm rejecting that call. So this student, create a student method called promise call. I'm mentioning some message. Otherwise, what I'm saying, I'm resolving it. So resolving means it is a successful promise, right? So normally in a callback function, what we will do, we will mention the callback as a second parameter, right? So here we use something called as dot then, right? So what I have to do after a successful call, so that I will mention it in dot then. So this feature we call it as a chaining function. So we can perform like we can do a dot and then we can perform multiple operations. So this we call it as a chaining in jQuery, right? So if there are any errors, so we can say it here as well. So here I will say some error equal to, so whatever, if you want to handle the error, so what I should do in case of error and what I should do in case of a successful call, right? So if it is a successful call, what I should do, I should call the get student, right? So if it is a like maybe a failure call or something, I can do alert, right? So I can simply say alert error. So then I will refresh the screen. So same scenario, like I am achieving using promises as well. So I'm waiting. So if let us assume something has went wrong now. Okay. So let me say const error equal to true. So now then we are some rejecting. So due to some error. So what is happening? It is saying something went wrong. Try after something. So what? So the same scenario like which we achieve using callback, we can achieve it using promises as well. But only thing we have to remember is like whenever returning a promise, so we have to, it will accept a couple of parameters, resolve and reject. So on a successful thing, whatever you want a successful execution of that functionality defined with the promise, so we can mention it in the resolve. And if something goes wrong, for normally we use a exception, right? So try catch, so any for catching any exception, that we can return it using the reject. And in order to hand it in the caller, right, wherever that method is called, so that create student is called in our example, so we have to use the dot then for handling the success, and we have to use dot catch for handling the failure. So yeah, so are you clear guys, like till now, like what we saw, this callback and then promises? Yeah. Yeah. So this a promise, we can also handle multiple promises. Like whenever we do HTTP calls, normally we use a promise for waiting waiting and making multiple calls simultaneously. So that we can achieve like using, we have something called as promise dot all. So maybe I will comment to this line. So I will create a promise. Promise one equal to, we will say promise dot resolve. So in our case, right, this resolve does not return any output to the then method, right? So if we want to return any output to the then, that is also possible. So how we will do? So normally in real time scenario, it is not like whenever we add a student, so we have to call it as a two separate functions. So one function for adding the student and another function for reading the student. Like we cannot call like that. In our web API also, we can write a code. Once after adding, we can return the list of students in the same method as well, right? So in that scenario, what we will be doing, we will be getting list of students once we call a create a student method. So in that case, what we can do is we can say promise.resolve and we can return some output like this. So I'll say hello or something. So once this promise is called, we will get the output as in the then function. On a successful call, we will get out hello as a output, right? So I'll declare one more promise. We'll say promise dot resolve one something 12. So promise create promise 3 equal to promise. Let me say new promise reject maybe I will return this output a little delayed. Okay, so I'll say it's timeout and then here I will say resolve another output. So maybe I will take some 2 seconds for performing this for returning another output as a successful response for promise 3. So here at line number 59, what I will do, I will say so promise dot all. So what I will do, I will call all these functions at a single go, maybe like asynchronously. At a single go, I will call, and once all these uh, promises got resolved, I will display the output. So in order to do that, what I will do, I will say promise dot all, and I will cross all these promises like promise 1 and promise 2. I will take promise pass only 2 promises as of now. Dot then we'll say response or something. I will simply console.log. I will comment all these. I need to comment. Okay. Oh, you only 6 is coming. What is this? Okay, this okay. Set timeout is a window function, right? Okay. So set timeout and all, it is a window function, so it will work on only on browser, right? So what I will do, I will just inspect. I will refresh it in the. So this response I have got, right? Hello under 12. So this two promises are executing simultaneously. If you see, I'll clear the console and refresh it. So I'm getting two response. So here, response I'm getting it as an array. So first index will have the response of first promise. Second index will have the response of second promise, right? So I'm printing that in an array, right? So what if I call? So if you, I mean, again I refresh it and I will clear it and refresh you. So here I'm getting the response immediately, right? So I'll clear the response and then what I will do, I will pass this promise 3. It's a third argument, and then what I will do. So now it should take 3 seconds, like for giving the output, right? So this another output, it is coming after 3 seconds, right? So similarly, what I can do using the promise, I can perform multiple functionalities like simultaneously. So that is also possible using promise. So are you clear, guys? So this, I mean, I have to use this all method, promise dot all method for performing. If I have several functionality, if I have to perform simultaneously, I can use this dot promise dot all method, and I can pass the list of promises, and then by using dot, then I can handle the successful response. And if something goes wrong, I can also handle using dot catch. So yeah.